Today's program is brought to you by OTCStockShark.com. For the latest and greatest OTC and Pink Sheets information, sign up for your account at OTCStockShark.com. Thank you for tuning in to TBC Today. I'm Brandon Vincent.
And I'm Angelina Soriano.
In today's financial news, stocks staged a strong rally to finish in positive territory for the second day in a row, shaking off deep losses as optimism grew ahead of a fresh wave of bank earnings and guidance from the Federal Reserve. The Dow Jones Industrial Average raced triple-digit losses to finish up 75 points, or 0.74%, at 10,229, with materials and energy stocks leading the way. The market started the day down heavily on the back of lower than expected corporate earnings before launching a noontime surge that lasted the rest of the session. Traders said the market's afternoon change of heart was initially sparked by a speculation over what the top central banker might say in semi-annual congressional testimony, including the possibility of a further loosening of monetary policy. The chatter was quickly discounted by investors and market watchers, but stocks were able to hang on to their gains as investors braced for earnings from tech giants Apple and Yahoo, and from a pack of financial institutions including Morgan Stanley, Wells Fargo, and U.S. Bancorp. Optimism also built for the release of Apple's quarterly reports after the market closes, which are widely expected to surpass estimates. Shares of Apple closed up 2.6%. In today's U.S. news, U.S. National Guard troops will begin arriving along the border of Mexico on August 1st to bolster security as the Obama administration tries to stem the flow of illegal immigrants, weapons, and narcotics. Officials said about 300 Customs and Border Protection agents and officers will also be sent to the border region, along with additional helicopters and other surveillance equipment. The border is more resourced and more secure than it's ever been, but the work continues and the challenge remains, said Alan Burson, Commissioner of the Customs and Border Protection Agency. The Obama administration has pledged to send up to 1,200 National Guard troops to the area for a year and to seek $600 million for 1,000 new Border Patrol agents and unmanned aerial detection systems. Violence along the border has been escalating in recent years. Burson said illegal crossings have begun to fall while seizures of weapons and drugs have risen. The largest share of the National Guard force will go to Arizona, where the state officials have complained bitterly about the lack of security. Legislators in Arizona have passed a strict law to try to crack down on illegal immigrants, but the U.S. Justice Department is challenging it on the grounds that immigration is a federal issue. While welcoming the Obama administration's measure, Arizona Governor Jan Brewer said it did not appear to be enough or tied to a strategy to comprehensively defeat the increasingly violent drug and alien smuggling cartels operating in the desert border state. She also said, "We need the implementation of a federal plan to achieve victory over these brutal cartels and the nature of our open border." The Obama administration goes to federal court to try and block Arizona's new law, which requires state and local police to investigate the immigration status of anyone that reasonably suspects of being an illegal immigrant. In today's international news, 6 young Chinese women arrived in this historic city 3 summers ago, among the tens of thousands of apprentices brought to Japan each year on the promise of good job training, good pay, and a chance at a better life back home. Instead, the women say they were subjected to 16-hour workdays assembling cell phones at below the minimum wage, with little training of any sort, all under the auspices of a government-approved foreign trainee program that critics call Industrial Japan's dirty secret. Zhang Yui said, "My head hurt, my throat stung," who operated a machine that printed cell phone keypads, battling fumes that she said made the air so noxious that managers would tell Japanese employees to avoid her work area. Ms. Zhang says she was let go last month after her employer found that she and 5 compatriots had complained to a social worker about their work conditions. A Japanese lawyer is now helping the group sue their former employer, seeking back pay and damages totaling $207,000.
When you've got a serious leak, it's time for Leakender 2000. It fixes any leak fast, no matter what's leaking. Just spray it with Leakender 2000, and in minutes, the leak is sealed. Look, we'll cut this garden hose with a knife, then shut off the water and spray on Leakender 2000. Minutes later, the hose is as good as new. The cut is sealed. Leakender 2000 is a unique compound that fills and seals any crack or separation as it hardens. Why put up with gushing gutters, dripping drains, wet windowsills, and rain-soaked RVs? Leakender 2000 stops all those leaks, and it's yours for only $14.95. Call now and we'll double your order. We'll send you this giant-size can at no extra charge. Order now.
To order, have your credit card ready and call toll-free 1-800-936-0300 or send check or money order for $14.95 plus $5.95 shipping to the address on your screen. Call 1-800-936-0300.
In today's entertainment news, Lindsay Lohan is now a fish. And that's what new inmates at the women's jail are called. And to underscore their lowly status, each is given what is called a fish kit, which is a sandwich bag containing a small tube of toothpaste, a white toothbrush, 3 packets of cream deodorant, and 3 packs of shampoo, as well as a small bar of soap. As Lohan, who is 24, begins her 90-day sentence for violating probation in a DUI case, a strange and surreal world awaits. Far from the perks and freedom she enjoys during her jet-setting lifestyle. She'll have a show business neighbor, though. According to a jail insider, Lohan will be housed in a 12-by-8 cell next to e-reality star Alexis Nears, who is 19 and currently at Linwood on a 6-month sentence for her part in burglarizing Orlando Bloom's house. In today's health news, Monica Long had expected a routine appointment, but here she was sitting in her new oncologist office, and he was delivering deeply disturbing news. Nearly a year earlier, a pathologist at a small hospital in Sheboygan, Michigan, had found the earliest stage of breast cancer from a biopsy. Extensive surgery followed, leaving Miss Long's right breast missing a golf ball-sized chunk. Now she was being told the pathologist had made a mistake. Her new doctor was certain she had never had the disease called DCIS, and it had all been unnecessary: the surgery, the radiation, the drugs, and worst of all, the fear. Like most women, Miss Long had regarded the breast biopsy as the gold standard and infallible way to identify cancer. According to an examination of breast cancer cases by the New York Times, diagnosing the earliest stage of breast cancer can be surprisingly difficult. Prone to both outright error and case-by-case disagreement over whether a cluster of cells is benign or malignant, advances in mammography and other imaging technology over the past 30 years have meant that pathologists must render opinions on even smaller breast lesions, some the size of a few grains of salt. Discerning the difference between some benign lesions and early stages of breast cancer is a particularly challenging area of pathology. There is an increasing recognition of the problems, and the federal government is now financing a nationwide study of variations in breast pathology, based on concerns that 17% of DCIS cases identified by a commonly used needle biopsy may be misdiagnosed. Despite this, there are no mandated diagnostic standards or requirements that pathologists performing the work have any specialized expertise, meaning that chances of getting an accurate diagnosis vary from hospital to hospital. In today's Green News, a sharp-eyed blogger over at America Blog has uncovered that BP has photoshopped its command center. He quips, "I guess if you're doing fake crisis response, you might as well fake a photo of the crisis response center." This really is sort of hilarious and certainly weird. America Blog explains how it stumbled upon the strange blunder. The meta-info for the photo says it was created in 2001, not July 2010, as claimed on BP's site. It looks like BP took a photo from 2001, and in order to make it look like the command center in July of 2010, they pasted pictures of the oil well leaking over the old photo. Scott Dean, a spokesman for BP, said that there was nothing sinister in the photo alteration and provided the original unaltered version. He said that a photographer working for the company had inserted 3 images in spots where the video screens were blank. Dean said, "Normally, we only use Photoshop for the typical purposes of color correction and cropping. In this case, they copied and pasted 3 ROV screen images in the original photo over the 3 screens that were not running video feeds at the time. We will replace the Photoshopped version currently on BP.com with the original image." He added, "We've instructed our post-production team to refrain from doing this in the future." BP's post-production team needs instructions to not create fake photos for public distribution. And all this presents the question, why bother? Wouldn't it have been much easier to just snap a photo of the new Crisis Command Center, or use one that didn't need to be photoshopped in the first place? Thank you for tuning in to TBC Today. I'm Brandon Vincent.
And I'm Angelina Soriano.
The makeup in today's program is provided by MAC Cosmetics.